How's it going, my people? Thanks for coming back to watch another video. If this is your first time here, thanks for clicking on this. I've got a pretty unique build here. I think you might find some of this pretty interesting. So this is my CQB blaster build. Right now it is in its outdoor conversion. I'm going to be converting it back into its CQB conversion with the shorter barrel and the tracer unit, so I can utilize the tracer BBs for indoor play. As you can see, I can have the red and black combo going on, the Cerakote, and all of the CNC, the milling and everything like that was done by Koa from Koa Customs. Thanks a lot, Koa, man. You rock. Miss you, buddy. Had fun in Hawaii there, dude. From the tip here, I have the Osprey suppressor silencer on the front here. Going to the handguard, I have the APS Guardian 8.0 rail transform system. It's got some fancy name, but it's actually made by APS Conception or APS.com. I really like the cut on it. It had the little Swiss cheese going on with the ports and everything, and it does have a little bit of a funky rail system for hooking up the rails. I'll get into that when we take that off here. I can show you guys that probably real quick. Well, this did start out as a Crytek PDW AEG, as most HPA conversions do start out as. Usually, for me anyways, I will start out with an AEG. And Crytek, by the way, made in the USA, top notch. I highly recommend Crytek, any of their builds. I have two. Then this is the stock off of my other PDW that I had. Also very Swiss cheese imported. One thing about the Cryteks, they are a little bit on the heavy side. So I did do a lot of work, or Koa did the work actually, but I gave him a list of everything that I wanted done, and he went and he totally beyond expectations. When I flip it over to the other side, you guys will see, and it totally surprised me with this, and it just brought a smile to my face, and it still does today. For me, when I start out with an AEG, as soon as something happens with the gearbox, I convert it right to a HPA. I've done that with pretty much all of my builds now, and I really have not had a problem. This is a Wolverine Reaper 2 inside here. This has been well up into, I want to say, 100,000 shots. And I have not maintained it. I have not done anything. I installed it, and I have not done anything. I haven't even taken the gearbox out. I am running a Spartan trigger board, so no FCU, nothing like that. Very simple, very basic. My magazine release is also, I believe, an APS, and I'll go ahead and flip it over. It does have an extended release here on both sides, which I really like about it. And it's ambidextrous, so you can jack both sides. And here's some of the milling on the other side that you can see from Koa. He did the little HM in there for the heavy metal. Man, thanks, buddy. Also, he took off the forward assist button, and you can see that I've pretty much taken off everything that is not functional or not important, not useful. I'm still using the stock safeties, stock grip. I'm using the max trigger on the you gotta have an adjustable trigger on your HPA setup there. This side was looking kind of plain, so I just it was kind of flat, kind of plain, so I stuck the Velcro on and just threw a heavy metal patch on there. Right here, this is the on-the-fly hop-up switch for when you need to dial in, if you're getting some crazy shots and you're like, what's going on here, or you want to dial in a little bit of extra hop, you just on the fly click it in, and you're right where you want to go. And if you want to get tricky and try and hook one around the corner, crank that baby up, put some extra hop on it, and boom, you're ready to go. On the top, we just got a regular red dot. I just threw that on there for giggles. And I used to run this, but I lost the pin, so it took me a minute to find the drill bit and get the right size, and now I gotta fix that and cut that and glue it and all that kind of stuff. Alright, I do have a Magpul PTS sling attachment if I ever do want to run a sling attachment. And I do have the little 45 grip on the front. My HPA is kind of unique, a unique setup. Instead of running it out the grip like most people do, I ran it straight out the back to kind of a fixed, it's not exactly fixed, but when you try to, when you go to hook your hose on, you don't have to fuck around with a hose or anything like that. You can just solid connection, hook your hose in. I did take a lot of meat out of the stock here, and then I just used a piece of like that plastic binder folding to sort of cover the hole up, because I do put my battery in here for now, but I'm going to be switching this over. So when I switch this over, I'm going to put the battery in the grip. But for now, the battery goes in here, so I didn't want to protect the battery so it couldn't get shot or whatever. And then last but not least, I have an Ace Tech battery extension. That gives me a little bit, a little bit more length on the stock. And then I just have the standard Crytek stock off the back of the PDW screwed onto that. I'll go ahead and flip it over to the other side real quick. Check that out. And this should only take a minute. Hopefully we can get this done this so many times. So we get this off. After about 5 screws, I think we got it. This one does have to come all the way out. Then we go for these little screws. 2 on each side. Also, the outer barrel I'm running right now is a Sanctus Customs 3D printed outer barrel. And I do have my stock outer barrel here too. If I want to switch over, I can switch over to my 3D printed front end, or just the stock Crytek front end too, and I can mix and match and do whatever. So it's fun to have options. So got to be careful with this, and I'll have to do this probably off camera because this is going to be a little tricky to get this guy. Once I get that, see that block that fell out? That's what holds that front screw on that rail, so I'll have to put that back in later. So we flip those two out. These two out on the other side. Okay, here's the tricky part. You gotta slide him forward just a little. And some of you guys might have been wondering, like, how the heck did you get that on there with that recessed in there? How do you screw that in there? Well, here we go. We're just going to unscrew this whole thing. One piece. Slide it off. Alright, we'll set all that stuff to the side. Now we got to get the pop-up out of there. So we're going to take the upper receiver off. Push that out. Alright, here's that Gen 2 Reaper. Slide out the 311 millimeter Prometheus, and I do need to take the parts from this, just the springs, and switch them over to the Crytek. And Crytek, I am using just the spare Crytek with the Max hop-up. That's a modified Max hop-up clip that I modified, because I like the way it fits. It fits a lot tighter. So side note there. Alright, slide him back together. Pop the pin back in. Oops, drop the pin. Crytek's got a good spring, so you got to make sure you hold this guy together tight. Alright. Slide that back on. And we put our suppressor on. And I am using the BT lighter. Pretty much the whole reason for that is for the red tracer BBs. That was it. Wanted to use red tracer BBs, and it turned out that this actually made it quieter, so it was a bonus. There we go. Do the screws. I love using this thing because it's so quiet. I can just sneak right up on people, or, you know, there's 3 people in the building. I can just take them all out and they don't even know. My high cap is pretty quiet too, but people can still hear that high cap a lot more than this. Probably see that on a couple of videos too. If you keep watching those videos, you see that kind of stuff. But slide this back on for now. Like I say, I'll put that other piece on there later. And that's it. CQB Conversion. Back in business. That's it for now, guys. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to be pumping out a bunch of more videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and keep up on what's going on. Play with honor. Heavy metal out.